Okay, hi everyone. Sorry, we had technical difficulties. We're back. So today, Joe and I are going to discuss the pharmaceutical companies and their influence on not only the government, but like the world. Um, so last week we talked about New World Order and the shadow government, the elites. Um, to build on that, I'm going to talk a little bit about the structure. Our government is truly run by corporations. They are the ones that are funding the politicians, putting them in office. They're lobbying. They have the money to do that, and they're influencing lawmakers to pass laws that are beneficial to them and their corporations. And they don't always have our best interest at heart. Um, Before I go even further, maybe Joe, you have something to say in regards to that.
Yeah, basically what the New World Order is a multinational corporate fascist takeover. It's basically what it is.
Yes, it is. Um, and so first, let's see. I want to talk about. I'm not going to go in any order, but so dependency. How the pharmaceutical companies develop drugs that are created in a way that will have you depend on the drugs. There's a drug for everything. We are encouraged, when you have a headache, to take a pill. Sometimes you don't really need the pill. You may just need a glass of water or some rest or change your diet. But we're not encouraged to go that route for the most part. Now, there are some holistic practices out there that are helping out. But let's face it, the money really is in drugs. So these drugs are designed to keep you dependent on them. There is no money in cures. I think, Joe, you want to talk about that a little bit, right?
Yeah, the cures. Well, yeah, I'll talk about the good nutraceuticals later. We'll go into the structure, but yeah, what the pharmaceutical companies do, they have a monopoly over all the drugs and the research that's going into cures. There's no money in cures, so they don't fund those research projects. They get very little funding, and there's a lot of money to be made off of funding certain research. And the good news is some of these technologies, these advanced medical technologies, might be released soon. But yeah, what they do is they give you pills for everything. They market you a pill for every ailment you can possibly think of. And what these pills do is they'll give you symptoms for another disease down the road. So then you're going to need more pills. It's designed as a giant cycle. You're always going to be on pills if you go into the pharmaceutical options. There's never any cures in these pills, they just create more problems down the road. And it's also tied into the diet, the food we eat. A lot of processed foods and things like that, they cause certain diseases like diabetes, heart disease, all kinds of diseases they cause. And then it all works in a big system. The pharmaceutical company feeds off of the poor nutrition and the chemicals they put in the food.
Yeah, and if we really think about it, a lot of other corporations or what's the word, professions benefit from all of this, like lawyers. Lawyers are running litigations for people suing for these side effects that are caused by the drugs that they're taking to maybe relieve a certain ailment, and then now it's causing another or even death. So that is happening. And not only are they targeting the indigent, but they're also targeting the wealthy because they have the money to keep buying their drugs. And so by keeping them sedated or on their drugs, for example, the wealthy will not even think about doing anything positive for the poor or for the world. All they want to do is just keep buying drugs. Um, and also, Joe mentioned poor nutrition, and that's true. If you are going into the poor neighborhoods or low income neighborhoods, there aren't any grocery stores. There is no access to fresh produce. There's just corner stores where they can get junk food. This keeps everyone sick also. So it is a cycle. Before I go into the FDA and physicians, is there anything else you want to add, Joe?
Yeah, about the food. You got to be really careful what you eat. You got to read what's in your food. If you can't pronounce it, it's not good for you in the ingredients. So that's a big hint in what's not good for you. These big long chemical names, these different things you can't pronounce. That's not real food. Those are synthetic chemicals, and most of those chemicals, they actually get you addicted to the food. They make the chemicals in some junk food. They make you more. They make you hungry. You're more hungry than after you finish the bag of chips. It's ridiculous.
That is true. Actually, I met over the last summer. I think she's a dietitian. She works for a branch of the government. I can't remember. Anyway, she told me that they actually have biochemists that are developing these chemicals that they can add to the food, the processed food that will keep you addicted, keep you wanting more. And so, I mean, I've even noticed it myself when I took myself off of junk food and I started eating fresh fruits, vegetables, juice. My body went through a withdrawal. Like my mind constantly wanted junk food. I wanted to go to the drive-through rather than go to the grocery store and buy fresh fruits and vegetables. And so another guide that I've gotten, guidance that I've gotten from friends is when you go into the grocery store, it's beneficial for you to shop the parameters of the store. That's where the produce and the meats, if you eat meat, are rather than, you know, the middle of the store where all the boxed food and processed food and canned food is. So that's another way of looking at it. So do you want to go into, Joe, your favorite supplements as far as diet, since we're talking about diets?
Yeah, I like. I take a lot of iodine. It takes the fluoride out of your body, cleanses your third eye. Drink lots of purified water. You got to get a good water filter, the stuff that takes out the chemicals, the petrochemicals, the fluoride, and heavy metals. You got to get a good water filter. You got to read on what it takes out, because a lot of these filters, they don't take out a lot of these things. And I've even bought water filters where I look at it and it says does not take out beneficial fluoride. When you throw that in the garbage can, it's no good. So yeah, you get a good water filter. Drink lots of purified water. Zeolites are good. B vitamins, selenium, and you get most of this stuff from a good diet. It's like most humans, they still need meat, so it's okay to eat meat, but you don't want to eat a lot of it. You know, I eat one balanced meal a day, and then I drink juices. I do a lot of juices. So the juicer I get is it doesn't take out all the fiber. It grinds up the whole fruit and the whole vegetable together. And you can do your own. There's so many different combinations of juice diets out there, but you want to get one that you want to do the fruits and the vegetables that you like that are high in good minerals and vitamins. And it's a simple. You can just look up what your favorite fruits and vegetables are and pick the ones that are highest in the nutrients.
Yeah, I also like to juice vegetables and fruits. That's how I detox my body from all the heavy metals and toxins that I'm taking in. And it's not only through food and water that you're taking in these toxins, but you're also breathing it in. Your environment is filled with toxins. So sometimes, unless you put yourself in a bubble, it's hard to avoid these toxins. As far as clearing my water, I do have the iodine that I could take, but I am really not good at keeping up with that. So I filter my water once, and then I add boron, which is borax. It's a basic. It takes out the heavy metals that your filter does not, like fluoride. And so I do that to cleanse my water. And Juicing, I don't do it every day, but I know that in the springtime and in the fall, I do a detox for a week where I'm only eating or consuming fresh juiced vegetables. And so I do that 3 times a week, and then I snack on fresh fruits and veggies. And that way my body is just getting rid of all the toxins. That's one way you can do that. Another way is soaking in a sea salt bath. That also takes out the toxins. I'm not sure how effective it is when you're comparing it to juicing, but that's another effective way of cleansing your body. And so it's important, since you're taking in all of these toxins unknowingly or knowingly, to at least have a regimen where you're detoxing yourself. And you'll notice the difference. You'll feel lighter. Your head is clear. Your thought process changes. It's very effective. I found it to be very effective. So next, I wanted to go into pharmaceuticals and your physicians. Basically, these huge drug companies they want to push their drugs. They do, whether it was approved by the FDA or not. They need it out there. They need to keep you sick. And so they pay your physicians a good amount of money to distribute their drugs. And you've all seen this when you go to your doctor's office and he's telling you, well, I'm going to prescribe you this, but you know what? I have free samples of this drug, which is very similar. It should help you. And that's how they distribute their drugs. That's how they put it out there. Joe, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, just that they want to keep you sick. There's no money in not keeping you sick. They got to keep you coming back. And these companies, they give the doctors kickbacks for pushing their product. They're just like drug dealers. They're no different. But it's just on a legal scale. So especially to never get a flu shot. Those flu shots, they got tons of stuff in them you don't want. Then they're always, every time I go to the doctor, they ask me if I want a flu shot, and I tell them no. And yeah, it's basically, it's just a big legal way for them to push drugs on you that keep you coming back, just like a drug dealer. So it's no different.
I do want to talk about cures, though, because there have been some cures that were developed by researchers, and unfortunately, they've been suppressed. The researchers have been, murdered, killed, punished. And so that's just the reality that we're living in, but we can do something about it. This isn't, we're not doing this to depress anyone. It's just to bring it to light. If you take care of yourself, you take care of what you put into your body, I think we all have a chance at surviving. And with that, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add, Joe. I know this might be a very short discussion.
Yeah, a lot of these technologies and different medicines they come out with, they call them problematic technologies, because it ruins their scam if there's no money in the cure. But the one organ you really want to worry about is your liver. That's your body's filter. You want to keep your liver clean. Don't drink an excess amount of alcohol. And a lot of this stuff, pops, sodas, they clog up your liver. That's why there's a lot of young people that all they drink is Pepsi and Coke. Their livers are getting destroyed. So you want to keep your liver clean, and the sweating is your body's natural way to clear out toxins as well. So you want to do exercise. Go to the gym or even go to the steam room or something like that. There's a lot of gyms you can go and get a monthly membership, and just go to. So that would be another good thing to do.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, the pharmaceutical companies are just one of the organizations that are running this government in this world. We talked about the bankers last week. But there's the oil companies as well that have a huge influence over our politicians and lawmakers and the economy. There is gun manufacturers. They make their money in war, and I want to say that the U.S. is the biggest gun dealer in the world. They love to fund and supply weapons to both sides of the conflict. So they win either way. So the big corporation, that's the discussion today. And Joe, if there's nothing else, I guess we can end it here.
Yeah, that's pretty much it about the pharmaceuticals. It's basically
Yeah. Maybe next week we can go into the others or
the military-industrial complex is what you're talking about. That doesn't mean guns are bad. I mean, but these the large-scale arms dealers, they fund both sides of the war and they make money off of that. That's bad, but yeah.
that is true. I mean, I have a different view on guns. But yeah, I mean, there are some responsible gun owners out there. But unfortunately, for everyone that's responsible, there's at least 2 or 3 that are not. So it's hard to keep a positive viewpoint on weapons and guns. But anyway, that's for another topic, another day. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I did put Joe's YouTube channel in the description bar. He has some videos that are really interesting and informative. Joe, I hope that's okay. I didn't tell you.
Oh yeah, thank you. It's fine.
Cool. We'll see you.
I don't update it much. There's not that much on there right now, but
Yeah, but I'm sure you're going to continue to do that. So yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. All right. Much love, everyone.